Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the road. Season 2, Episode 12. We've audited power moves, corporate espionage, and the cost of the crown. But for the finale, we're looking at the one thing every CEO and entry-level intern has in common: the expiration date. In the 2001 cult classic Kingdom Come, the Slocum family gathers to bury Daddy Bud. Now, Bud wasn't a tycoon. He was a mean man who left behind a complicated widow and a family now in full chaos. But his passing triggers a restructuring of the soul. The family has to manage the logistics of a funeral while navigating the debt, emotional and financial, left in his wake. Welcome back to Suit and Screen. I'm Lady Ray, and today we're auditing Kingdom Come. We're talking about the final audit, succession, and sustainability. Because whether you're running a Fortune 1000 company or a household, the ultimate test of your leadership isn't what happens while you're in the room. It's what happens when you're gone. In business, we spend 40 years building the machine, but we spend almost zero time planning for the day the operator leaves the controls. We call it key person risk. If your business, your department, or even your family dynamic collapses the moment you stop breathing, you haven't built a legacy. You've built a bottleneck that turns into a ghost town the second you stop pushing the buttons. In Kingdom Come, the Slocums are scrambling. They're fighting over burial plots, who pays for the casket, and who inherits the trauma. This is the sunk cost of silence. Because Daddy Bud didn't plan for the transition, his successors are too busy cleaning up his mess to celebrate his life. Now, as we said before, Daddy Bud was a mean man, so there wouldn't be much celebrating anyway. But still, listen, sustainability isn't about staying in the green. It's about ensuring the mission outlasts the man. So, are you building a standard that requires your constant presence? Or are you building a system that can survive your absence? A funeral is just a board meeting where you aren't allowed to speak. If you want your team to survive the beginning of life without you, you have to prepare for the end today. So, here's your final audit checklist. First, the legacy funeral logistics. In the movie, the cost of the funeral becomes a crisis. In business, this is your liquidity strategy. Do you have the life insurance and the death manual, or the will, ready so your heirs aren't filing for bankruptcy while they're mourning? Then there's your SOP, or your standard of operations. Sharice and Junior are struggling because there was no blueprint for how to lead. If your secret sauce is only stored in your head, it dies with you. Document the process. Then there's the emotional debt ceiling. Daddy Bud left a legacy of resentment. In leadership, if you lead by fear, your succession will be a rebellion. People will spend more time dismantling your work than continuing it. Think about that. Last but not least, there's the no-show test. If you took a 30-day sabbatical today with zero contact, would your kingdom come crashing down? If the answer is yes, you aren't a king, you're a bottleneck. Again, think about that. So what's our strategy here? Succession is the ultimate act of unselfishness. It's the realization that the kingdom is bigger than the king. Build for the century, not just the quarter. There's a moment in the film where they have to decide what to put on Daddy Bud's headstone. Does Mean and Surly fit the aesthetic? If you watch the film, it seems like it does, but that's neither here nor there. When the final audit happens, people won't be reading your LinkedIn bio. They'll be looking at the culture you left behind. If you spent your whole career being mean and surly to get results, your headstone is going to be a blank space in the hearts of your team. In Kingdom Come, the family eventually finds a way to move forward, but only by forgiving the debt. In this case, it was emotional. Don't leave your successors with a debt they can't pay. Ensure your suit is one that people actually want to step into when you're done wearing it. So what have the Slocums taught us as we close out season 2? Succession is the only true measure of success. Get your papers in order, get your heart in order, build a standard that outlasts your presence so your team can focus on the beginning rather than surviving your end. I'm Lady Ray. This has been Suit and Screen. We've traveled from the social contract to the final audit. Thank you for letting me consult on your cinematic career. I'm stepping away from the projector for a moment to draft the blueprints for season 3, and it will be good. Until then, keep your legacy clean, your logistics tight, and please start your will and life insurance planning now so you don't end up in a casket with ballet shoes on. I'll see you next season.